Hi, this is Dr. Stacy Treckless, and I'm here with my good friend and student worker, Abby Payton, you're just finishing your freshman year this semester, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. So, and what's your major, Abby?
Early education.
Early childhood. Love it, love it, love it. So we've been working here for about a year together, and we've had lots of talks about students and instructors and things that instructors do well in classes and what helps Abby learn better. So I asked her to write a little presentation that she might give about this subject. So I'm going to go through it with her, and she's going to tell us some things that we could all learn a little bit about how to help students learn in our classes. So, first of all, we really want to find out what students appreciate about their classes, right? I mean, that's something that's come up in our conversations. You know, the things that you have liked about what your teachers have did, and conversely, maybe sometimes things that you didn't like. And that's okay because we're all learning together, I think, all the time. And actually, some of the things that you've noticed that didn't work for you as a student, you were able to sort of adjust, right, and find other ways to help yourself learn. So, at this point now, would you say that you know yourself pretty well as a learner? You've been able to find good ways of going about studying and making sure that what you learn sticks with you?
Yeah, throughout high school, I learned how to pretty much get the content written down, but not really into my brain. So in college, I've actually learned that if just writing down everything that's on a slideshow doesn't really help you, books, I know that everybody hates reading them, but they really do help you because when you go to class and the teacher talks about it and then you read it when you go home, it really helps you learn the content and understand it better.
Mm-hmm. So as far as kind of some of the other things, maybe in some of even your other classes, what's really helped you? You've noted some things on here that your instructors are friendly, they're helpful, they're respectful. Do you want to maybe elaborate on any of those?
Yeah, I look at it as if I were the teacher already.
Mm-hmm.
And going through school, like right now, I noticed that teachers, when they first start off, they're the friendliest person ever, and you are like totally confident about it. You're comfortable being in their classroom, but as it goes on, you're distant from them. You're just turning in work because they assigned it, not really getting that connection with them. But that's what I learned in high school. But through college, I if I ever have a question, I feel like I can go to my professors about it and I can ask them and they can tell me, they can explain it to me. There are some that they just want to get in there, show you their slideshow, move on, but there's others that they have been doing this their entire life. They know every question that has been asked. They know what you're going to say, so they know that if you're struggling. I also like when they do help you out, like you can email them, ask them, and it's within 24 hours. You know exactly what to do. Respect as well. I try to respect anybody that I associate myself with. I would also like to be respected if I was a teacher. I don't see how children, especially in high school, can talk to teachers the way that they do, but I would never I would never open my mouth up like that. I know if I want to be treated that way, you treat the person the exact same way.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's tough because sometimes in college here we get students that aren't very respectful to us. And we get the emails that are 2 sentences long that are very short and terse and not very nice. And it's hard sometimes for us to turn around and be respectful to them when we got that. Do you have any tips for us?
I learned that at my service learning site, there's this little boy. He always, if you're not giving him attention, he will do something that you look at him, but if you do not respond, he stops. So I've learned that if you just, you can look at them, you can respond to them, but if you do not give them exactly what they need, then they try, oh, well, if I do try harder, this professor is going to help me out more. So.
Yeah, I think that, there are a lot of things about teaching little kids that really isn't any different from teaching adults. That's one of them. That's definitely one of them. So as far as some of the things that you've done in class, as far as going on Blackboard, getting stuff from the teachers, these things were some of the stuff that you found the most helpful? Having notes and things available, having videos, and getting the homework. You said graded homework.
Yes.
So.
The online notes are very helpful for me because you can print them out and you can just write as the teacher talks. You're not writing everything that the teacher is saying. So if you have the title and you have the main point already printed out, you're listening to what they're saying about it. You're not just writing down, because I feel if you are just writing down something, how are you going to remember what the teacher said? You're not listening.
Yep. And there's a lot of research out there that says exactly that.
Yeah. And videos, I find those completely helpful, especially if you're not understanding the concept.
You're talking about like YouTube videos or some sort of supplementary thing from a textbook or something?
Yeah, if I do not understand like vocab. It doesn't go in my head. It's just a word. I don't remember what it is. But if you show me because it's child psychology, if you show me a child acting out the concept that she's teaching about, then I know it on the test. And I can write down the exact example that I saw in the video. So that really helps. And then graded homework. Homework that isn't graded is nobody's going to do it. You know, I do realize that I have ungraded homework and I do it sometimes. And then when he's going over it or she, then I don't really care because if I didn't do it, then like if you're just saying, oh, what's number 7? C, you know, it doesn't really plant in my head. But if it was graded, I've never had a missing assignment. That stresses me out the most, zeros. So I would never like do my homework if it wasn't graded.
Yeah. So in other words, it makes sense that there's some sort of incentive there for you.
Yeah, I know that instructors feel, oh, if I don't grade their homework, they're not going to be so stressed out about it. But really, it just doesn't make them do it. So they don't ask you questions. They don't know what the content is because they didn't do it.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So then we get to technology. And so the actual, including the technology, touched a little bit about that. But, maybe as far as setting up a Blackboard course, and even you mentioned some things about how inviting students to actually use their technology that they have with them in the classroom. That's pretty interesting.
Well, I think that it's not, when you go to college, you're thinking, oh, well, I need my own laptop, or I need my own way to get onto the internet. But when you go into class and you're not using these things, why would you pay for them? So we do have all these textbooks and everything, but it would be so much easier if they were online. So like if you do have a presentation in class, I think that it's better for people to come up and actually do it. So if you say, what's number 1, and they come up and they do it, then you can see how other people have learned it. I've shown with math, like math is my best course, and I have shown people how I do it, and the teacher realizes, oh, well, I've never thought of it that way, and they know what they're doing, and they see how I do it, and people are like, that is so much easier than what we just learned, you know? So I think that showing other people how their students do it helps other students out a lot as well.
Examples
So.
are always good. I use a lot of examples in my class, although I found that making people go up in front of everybody can be stressful for them.
Yeah,
so you have to be careful with that one.
It's really stressful for me, especially when you are like, oh, well, you have a speech next Tuesday or something like that. Then you are writing down note cards and you're like so nervous and you just want to get up there and get it over with. But I feel if you are doing a problem or if you're answering just a basic question, then the student is gonna they can raise their hand and say it. But if they say it and then they put an example or something on the board, it shows other people, hey, like they thought of it this way, I could think of it this way. So I don't like.
It's like low stress. Then.
Yeah, I don't like the presentations where they're just, oh, go up there next week and talk about this with especially a group. Because you pretty much are just like, it's thrown at you and you have to figure out how you're going to do it. And it doesn't stick in your head. You're just reading off what the internet has said or your book has said. So it's like, oh, well, critically think about this, and I'm going to call one of you up to the board, just write down your answer or explain to us what you know, and it's a lot easier that way. So, because it's easier for me to go up there for 10 seconds and say my answer, explain it, then go up there for 5 minutes with a group. So, helps a lot.
That's definitely less stressful, for sure.
Yeah, and Blackboard, I feel if you make your Blackboard as simple as possible, students will like it better because I have this impossible Blackboard and I can never find anything, and all of my classmates, they're like, I can never find anything on here, like where'd you find that? And then you don't remember where you found it because there's so many tabs to click on. You might as well just have 3 tabs, and if you need to send out an email, like do this assignment, send it out in an email or an announcement. Don't just keep adding folders because that does not, you don't know what you're doing, where you're going, especially as a freshman.
Yeah, absolutely. And contrary to popular belief, you're checking your email, right?
Yes.
You're actually getting those announcements.
I have it every day on my phone, emails about everything. I do not get the announcements on my phone. But I get an email saying there is an announcement, and then I'll check it.
Right.
But make sure to email the student as well, because sometimes I will see an announcement that was made 3 days ago, but I never got an email about it. So
that's no good. Yeah, that's a box that we can actually check off.
Yeah.
You've seen that box before. You can check it off whether or not you want it to go out to students. I usually do it every time they send out an announcement, just in case.
Yeah, it helps you a lot. Or some teachers, they like to do the whole text messaging thing, but that doesn't really help me because I won't get it, or if I do get it, some people didn't get it, then you're questioning, oh, well, did you get that text? No, I didn't get a text. You know, like email, especially if you just send it out to the entire class, everybody will get that email. But a phone number, what if somebody doesn't sign up for it, you know?
Right. Yeah, you can do that kind of thing, get lost. Have you ever looked at the Blackboard app for your phone?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you use it?
I don't use it yet. I have so many things that I have that are separate from my phone to my tablet and my laptop. So I try to keep everything the same. And you can't really do that on a laptop.
Yeah.
So I just go on Blackboard. You know, I go on Blackboard on my phone and tablet. So
that makes sense.
It's easy to just go on the internet.
Yeah.
Type in Blackboard. So
that's true. Yeah, it's not that hard to get to.
Yeah.
It's not that hard to get to.
Yeah.
That's good that you're getting a lot from it. So on this last one, I kind of took some of your ideas and I was thinking about things that we could offer for instructors, and maybe you've seen this already. Have you ever had an instructor ask either just informally, hey, how's the class going, or had like a midterm evaluation where you got to answer some questions from the professor about how they thought they were doing or how you think they're doing? Or,
yeah.
Yeah?
I actually had a survey about 2 weeks ago. It was in psychology class, and it was, do you like your school? Do you feel like you fit in with your school? I don't know if people really answer those truthfully, because we're thinking to ourselves, oh, well, our school's not going to want to know if we're thinking about going to another school, which I put all of my truthful answers, but, like there are so many people that I know a lot of people that are already, they've switched their majors 2 times.
Yeah.
They're going into a different major, or they're thinking about going to a different school, or they're thinking about dropping out. So it doesn't really, that kind of survey, I don't feel as though people will say that truthfully. Mm-hmm. So I feel as though surveys don't really help.
Mm-hmm. So even last semester, at the end of the semester, you got a little thing and told you to go to Blackboard and you filled out 6 or 7 questions about each of your classes.
Yeah.
I assume you did that. Hopefully you did that. Did you think that was a good way for you to give feedback back to an instructor?
Yeah, but the instructor doesn't know that it's you saying it.
That's true. We're not supposed to.
Yeah, so it could be this person that is about to switch their major anyway.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's a good point. So you would actually rather have that kind of a survey be non-anonymous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd rather the instructor know how I feel about it. I like meeting up with them during their office hours. Then you can it's one-on-one. You just sit there and talk to them. I think that's better than just giving a survey, how do you think about me? I feel as though if they make appointments with us to just meet with them, then there's so many things that you could talk about with them.
Absolutely.
Explain why, things like that. So
I've had some really good conversations with students before and after class. Those are really good times. You get those little lulls while you're waiting for everybody else to come in. You find out more about each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Those kinds of things are pretty illuminating.
Yeah, and I feel as though students that go to the office hours, they're seeking for more help. So you might as well help them,
Sure.
And people that aren't seeking for more help, maybe they will find something out new about you or what you're thinking about for this course when you go and meet with them. So.
Sure. Would you recommend that instructors require that students come in for an office hour visit at least once a semester?
At least once, because then, especially people that are so new to it, we have about 3 new people in my early education class, and they did not know what they were getting thrown into because they're coming into the second semester part of it, and they didn't go to PNC before.
Oh, they don't know from Ivy Tech or another place.
Yeah, they don't know who anybody is. They don't know who our instructor is. They don't know how they teach. So it can be kind of confusing, especially when you first start out and you're not first starting out with them. So I think that would help a lot too.
I know a few instructors who do, instead of face-to-face office hours, they do online office hours, and they use WebEx or maybe even just some sort of other exchange, Skype, to communicate that way. That way everybody doesn't have to be at the same place. Yeah. Do you think you would use that if somebody had that available?
I would. If one of my professors wanted to talk to me about it and they were like, oh, well, just get on your webcam on your phone or something like that, and you can talk to them face-to-face about it, I think that would help out a lot too. So
you wouldn't think that's any different really than sitting in front of them together face to face?
Not really. You know how your professor is, you know how they talk, you know how they react to things. When you're talking to them through a computer screen, I don't think it's any more different. So, because I have a lot of people, they love online classes when they just sit there, they watch the professor teach on their computer screen, and they write down all their notes and things like that. And I've never had a online class yet, but I don't know. It would probably seem easier. Yeah. And if you could ever talk to them through the computer screen just like that, that would probably help a lot too. So
it's that connection to them that you really want to see.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Well, can you think of anything else we should know about? If you could wave your magic wand and make us all do the things that would help you learn best.
Online homework is a lot simpler than doing it from a book too. I think
Yeah.
I think that you can look at online sources, you can watch videos on how to do it. You can always ask your professor how to do it through an email or things like that too. So that's one thing that I've seen, because I've had online homework for math, and that's it. But it was so, like, it was due at a time, and you had to have it turned in with every answer completed. And I feel that helps you a lot more than just handing in your piece of paper and you just get the grade back. Because if you do it online, it will show you what you've done wrong if you do get it wrong, and then you can go over it again and you learn from it, you make notes on it, and then when you go to class, you know exactly what you're doing on it. So I think that online homework helps too. So
cool. Yeah, that's good. That's good to know, because a lot of teachers are looking at the My Pearson labs, the math lab.
It does help. It does help.
There's a lab for just about every subject. It's
Yeah.
just whether or not you're using that book.
I feel as though if you pretty much just, do these problems and turn it in, they're either going to find out how to do it on the internet, do the last step. But when I did Pearson, it was, you had to show your steps, you had to find out how you did it, and it would go through your steps and find the mistake.
That's nice.
So it shows you what you're doing wrong, and then you could go through it and redo it.
Well, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Huh. That's really cool.
So, and I learned a lot more than just writing it down on a piece of paper and just turning it in. So, and it also helps the professors as well, I think, because they see online, oh, they did this mistake. I hope that they don't try to do it on the test, and they do mention it. Some people are doing this on their homework, so I'm going to show you guys how to do it right. And I think that helps the instructor as well. So
totally, yeah. The homework can be a great diagnostic tool.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, Abby, I really appreciate your time and your thoughts. I think we all do. It's kind of an eye-opener for a lot of things that we might not be doing right. We need to think about our modern students, our 18, 19-year-old students coming in fresh from high school, because you guys are, you have a lot of neat things to say and a lot of cool learning styles and things that we can learn from. So I appreciate it, and I guess this will be online, and you can show all your friends and family how cool you are and how smart you are.
Thank you.
Thank you, Abby.